need to know how to do it. Okay, so calculators if you need, pencils ready to go. So write the following as decimals and percent. Watch what it says here. Do not round finite decimals. Finite decimals are decimals that actually stop, right? Like they have a finish to it, right? So I'm going to grab my calculator here for some of the things. So whenever you see a fraction, 3/4, I think everybody knows it's 0.75, right? But you would just go 3 divided by 4. Okay, that's 0.75. That is the decimal right there. Okay, so I'm going to say this. You might find it redundant, right? But the decimal, whatever my calculator showed, I'm going to, in this case, just copy down exactly what my calculator shows me because it stops, right? If you want it as a percent, right? If you want it like this, what do you need to do to this number? There's an operation we perform. Multiply it by 100, right? So I go times 100, and you probably know it's 75%, right? But you must add the percent symbol or else it's wrong, right? So there we go. So let's do the next one, 5/6. So 5 divided by 6, definitely not a finite one, right? So this, watch what I'm going to do here. 0.8333. Don't do the bar. We just do this. That's what my calculator shows me. It's not a finite, it's infinite, right? So let's just do arrows, right? If I asked you to state 5/6 as a decimal, I don't want you to do this. You're gonna cut it. The standard is 2 decimals, guys, right? So if you cut it right there, right, you would say 0.83, okay? Because we round to 2 decimals and this number is not 5 or greater, so this stays 3. If you want to state this as a percent, watch this, grab your calculator, multiply that by 100, and there you will round to 2 decimals by looking at this. Okay, so that'll be 83.33%. Okay, and let's go in our notes here. I'm just going to show that I'm multiplying this by 100, right? Multiply that by 100. So a lot of students would say, oh, it's easy. It's 83%, Mr. Dirksen, because 0.83 times 100. Always go back to what your calculator shows you, right? And then branch off. Okay, decimal, go back to it, times 100, it would look like this. So that's the expectation that the province has. Let's see here. I'll skip C. I'll let you do that one. Let's go 19 divided by 23. So you grab your calculator. That's your first step. You need to divide them, right? 19 divided by 23. And that's 0. So I'm going to write down 82608. And then I'm just going to go dot, dot, dot. That's how my calculator shows me. Okay? So now, if you were asked to state this as a decimal, what would you write down? 0.8. Is it going to be 82 or 83? What are the rules again? In case you forgot, here they are. If it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, we call that rounding down. Okay. If you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you round up. Okay, that's the rule. So if you want to cut it here, this 6 will bump this up. Okay, so we need to write down 83. That is the correct rounded answer for the decimal. Okay. Now things change. If you want to go percentage, we go times 100. So grab what's on your calculator, multiply it by 100, what would you write down there? 82.6, it's 1 because the 8 here, this 8 bumps that 0 to a 1. There you go. Very important that you do it this way. Always go back to what's on your calculator. Okay. Let's do one of the mixed number fractions here. So mixed number has whole and parts, right? So let's say we do this one right here, 17. So if you have 17, right, you're saying 17 and something, so comma something, right? So we go 1 divided by 8. I'm going to figure out what that fraction is. It's a finite. It stops, right? So you just tack on 1, 2, 5. 17 whole, comma, 1, 2, 5. You figured out that this is 0. Right? This is 0.125. And so the 17 it goes here, and that's it. That would be the decimal. Sorry, I kind of butchered this a little bit. So really, this is what the calculator would say. That is my decimal. And what would this be as a percent? So watch what I'm going to do on my calculator. I'm going to go plus 17. I'm going to add the 17 to that answer. And then I'm just going to multiply that by 100. And that is times 100. So that is 1,712.5%. It is possible, just not in probability. Not when we're talking probability, but when we're talking like growth of your bank account. Sure. Right? I wish my bank account would grow that fast. So the rest, I'll leave them up to you. I will post the key. And so on Thursday or after today, you're like, you know what? I just want to make sure I get this right. Boom, right? Rounding. Round the following to the nearest hundredth, right? So that's 2 decimals. Watch this. It's actually not that bad. You kind of want to cut it there and let this number tell you what's going to happen to that second decimal, right? So in this case, it would be 17.98, right? 8 stays. Next, okay? You want to cut it there, 0.2. The 9 bumps that 4 to a 5, right? Again, you want to cut it right there. That'd be 19.4. That 5 will stay 5. And some of you are like, I got this. I got it. I always got it. You don't need to review this with me. Great. Good for you. Okay. 201.9898. Let's cut it right there. So it's 201.99. Yes. A lot of students would just say, well, might as well just say 202, Mr. Dirksen, for all I care, right? But you would lose half a mark for rounding, okay? So do this right. Let's do one of the trickier ones. I will skip to this one right here. I will put the line right there. This one is trickier, okay? What's the 6 going to do to this 9? Round it up. So you have 10, right? But you can't do that. So it's 0, right? Turns this into 10 as well. So that's 0. Keep carrying the 1 over. Turns this into a 9, right? So you have 259.00 in this case. So as long as you have 9s, they keep turning to 10s until you get to a number that isn't 9, and then you just bump it by 1, right? So that's how that goes. I'm going to leave the rest for you. Just hang in there with me, and then I'm done. I'm just going to get to this part right here, to 4, and then we'll be done for today. You don't have to listen to me any longer. Okay. So, and so what about the ones I'm not doing? I'm expecting you to do those. Okay. Determine the following: percentage of, in this case, a dollar amount. Do you remember how to do those? What should you do with a 3%? Turn it into a decimal and you say it's 0.03. That's right. That's right. Percentage of a number, turn that into a decimal. So I'm going to go divided by 100. And if you go 3 divided by 100, anytime you see something with a percentage, it could be 3.125% divided by 100. There you go. 0.03 of, in math, is always times. And then times it by, it's a dollar amount. Do you notice that? It's not just 250, it's a dollar amount. So your answer will be in dollars. Very important. So I'm going to go times 250. So that's 7. Would you be tempted to write down exactly what's on your calculator? Yes. You think that's right? No, the province would consider that wrong because it's a dollar amount. If this had not been a dollar amount, absolutely fine. But because it's a dollar amount, where's my red pen? I always clean up, I throw everything in one drawer and then I need to reorganize. But I would say, right, 750 because of this dollar amount, okay? If it had been exactly 7, you're okay to just write down 7. You don't have to go 7.00. Yeah.
Always put the 0 on. Do you know why put a 0 on?
Yeah, I think it's just because the price at the store, they always put down 2 decimals, right? So I don't know, but that's what they require. Standard, yeah. Good question. Okay, next. I'll do this one here. C. So you're like, that's already a decimal, Mr. Dirksen, so I'm done, right? I can just use 0.85. And there's a percent, right? So 0.85 divided by 100. So I'm going to show my work here. I divide that by 100. I get 0.0085 times $675. So that is 5.7375. Watch what I'm going to do. I just do this to show you, right? You can't leave it like that because it's dollars. So this would be 7. If you cut it right there, this 7 would bump that 3 to a 4. So this is what the answer would be. $5.74. So if your shares went up by 0.85%, that's how you'd figure it out. Okay. One last one, and then I'll let you go here. What do you call this? Your teachers call this cross multiply and divide? Proportional reasoning. That's the fancy name. Yeah. So everybody does it differently. This is my version. Got it? I look for the variables right here. Okay. Then I start with the number that's either above or below it. In this case, it's right here. Okay. I will cross multiply like this. You always got to go diagonal. So you multiply, and your answer you divide by what's left over. Okay. So the variable was on the right side of the equation. I go to the number, I multiply. You don't need to show me this, but this is just for you to know how I do it. So watch what I need you to do though. I need you to write n is equal to 38. Look at the scary. Do brackets scare you? Because that's another way of showing multiplication, right? 38 times 45. And then this is how you do divide, right? Divide by 76. And then let's go and compute that. And if you have one of these calculators, you have nothing to fear. You just go 38 times 45. I'm going to hit equals just to make sure. Right? And then I'm going to divide by 76. That's 22.5. Can I leave it like that? Yep, because it's not a dollar amount. Mr. Dirksen, is it going to be wrong to put a 0 there? No, it's not going to be wrong. Okay. All right, so that's, you want to do one more? One more. This is the variable. Where do I start, guys? I start with a number that's above it in this case. So I start on the left side with this number. I travel and I break my leg, right? Travel to multiply, then divide my answer by what is left over. So M would be 3.95 times 95.7 divided by 124.5. Please show your work. A lot of students, I'll show you what I don't like. So this would be 3.0 what? 0, 3 or 4? 4, right? Yes. Is that 6? The third value is a 6 bumping that. Can I just show you what I don't like? Some students just do this whole thing and then they'll just go equals 3.04. Like just tack it on like that. I do not like that, and it's actually wrong, right? M is 3.04. Okay. So that's it for today. I would like you to do 4, which continues on the back side, right? So there are still a couple more for you to try. So that would be all the way to G. The rest you can leave for now, okay? Thank you very much, guys.